What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Guys, we have channels that are internet sleuths speaking about the movements of the Joe Budden podcast, and we have something developing right underneath our noses, and we don't have a freaking clue as to what it is, but something is definitely going on. On Patreon today, I was expecting a lighthearted episode. Joe's back. I'm in the groove of things. We can ha. But the first 45 minutes or so was him, in essence, throwing shots at everyone in the room. Talking about how they're cohesive and how they gel. They should have been the title of the damn Patreon. Y'all gelling. I see y'all gelling. That's fine. Why is that an issue? On one hand, it could be him trying to get them to be like that when he's around, because the morale in the room when he is around is not the same whenever he's gone. So we all know how Joe operates. That could be one way of getting it out of them. But on the other hand, why is it that everybody is full of jubilee whenever you're not there, nigga? It could be because you're the boss and you're the one signing everyone's paychecks. Or it could be because you're the common denominator on issues that people have at the show. And as much as I cap for you and cape for you and rep for you, everyone is looking at you side-eyed because now the cohesion and the chemistry on the pod is off again. You are a Mike. You are the maestro, however you say that word. I'm not questioning what you bring to the podcast, but I am questioning why you, at the status you're at, and the co-host that you have can't gel together. Because when you were gone, I saw the flood of comments saying, wow, y'all are actually y'all aren't bad at all. Everybody was signing up and teaming up with y'all, and rightfully so. I'm one of those people. Y'all were actually doing really good. I didn't even make videos about y'all potting bad. I went on a business tirade for a week because y'all were actually doing well. So why the hell is it that y'all can't do that when Joe's here? Because I saw a distinctive shift from these past two episodes with Joe's return and the episodes when he was gone. I see a distinct difference. And Ish is finally happy-go-lucky again. So that can kind of cancel out what Joe was going through, but something is absolutely going on. When he told Imani something bad is going to happen, I see something bad happening to you. And then the correlation to that was because he was talking to a broad on Space, or Spaces, and they're bleeping the name out. But because I was actually in this space, he might be talking about Danny. Talking about he wouldn't even associate with a bitch that would suck Danny's dick. What? That's fine. And in somewhat, I can kind of understand what he's saying. I'm not saying I agree, but I get what he's saying. But for me to tell one of my main niggas something bad is going to happen to you, especially in the tone that he says it in, just based off of that alone, I can see why everyone is walking on eggshells around you. This shit is ridiculous. How is it that you couldn't just be happy that we held it down, period? Because you went on a sabbatical, which I'm about to get to, and left us high and dry. You're telling the world yourself you didn't respond to shit we were asking and inquiring about you. But as soon as you come back, you have all the negative thoughts in the world. You were keeping all the tabs on the pod in the world, but you're supposedly going through shit and you didn't even want to respond to us as the motherfucking runner of the shit. So we're over here running around with our heads cut off. We're looking like chickens because we don't know what the fuck is going on with you. You run the ship and you run a tight, strict ship. And now we're out here fending for ourselves. We miraculously stay afloat the whole time. But as soon as you come back, you're going to cast aspersions. You're going to say everything negative in the world about us. It's already bad enough that you have made us subscribe to your way of thinking, to where all publicity and all critiques are good critiques, whether they're good or bad. You got us in spaces. You got us looking at YouTubers that we would never look at, such as myself and Danny, hearing what it is they say about us and telling us to just accept this shit. But when it comes to anything pertaining to you, we can't even give you our genuine thoughts, because you're going to step on our shit. You're going to say our content's not compelling. You're going to say it's not funny. Or you're going to take a serious situation and turn it into funny. And apparently the reason he's doing that is because he had an 8-month stretch. He said this himself, where he didn't know what the fuck to do. He didn't think the pod was going to make it during this 8-month stretch. So now we're watching you implode in real time. You're talking shit about us constantly. And on top of that, I'm thinking y'all getting new furniture. And like I said, y'all gotta give me till tomorrow, till the next pod, to actually make an assumption. But I'm thinking it's an upholstery upgrade. Meanwhile, the very beginning of the episode, y'all talking about fights that occurred at the studio space. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks, Joe's not recording in the studio space. And we just let that black eye from Parks slip right on by. But I'm hearing how Parks is talking to Joe currently, and it's not the same as he normally talks to Joe. Please don't tell me Joe black Parks eye. Please don't tell me that. And then you over here making the George Zimmerman comment, in essence, getting all of your audience to turn on the neighbors. But we've seen what goes down on your recordings. We don't see what happens with these fights, but we hear about them. We know about them. And y'all are in the upscale neighborhood that y'all supposedly in, thinking that shit's just gonna be sweet. But why wouldn't they all have gotten kicked out at once? That's the only reason I'm not fully jumping on this bandwagon. Or Joe fucked up and fought one of these neighbors. So it's just like, what in the entire fuck is going on? You take a 2-week sabbatical. You don't even tell your co-host what the hell is going on. You come back, you're mum on the subject. There's big-ass topics that we wanted you to speak on. You're ducking those topics. People have been saying this pod has been turning into the mid for years. You admitted to an 8-month stretch where everything was fucked up. But now you come back and you just talking shit to the co-host. So clearly you're not over that 8-month stretch. Clearly they have a reason to walk on eggshells whenever they're around you. There's a reason why these niggas act like this around you. If tomorrow comes and y'all are still in Park's basement, because at the end of the Patreon, y'all were talking about, oh, it's nice in here. It's smaller. It makes it easier to conversate. Y'all were, in essence, talking shit about the new studio space. If y'all come back to Park's basement tomorrow, what the fuck happened at the studio space? And that's cool if you upgrade. This is not a money talk. But damn, nigga, you acting how a brokey would act, nigga, if this is what's going on. And then to just come back throwing shots at everybody, Mel, Ish, Flip, Imani, like, god damn. Why would you even want to work in these conditions? So, like I said, like I told y'all a couple of months ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, how Parks and Mel's dynamic is. Now they're on good terms. Now we have to shift our focus. Check out Parks and Joe's dynamic these next 2 episodes. And that'll be very, very, very telling. Because Parks knows what happened. Parks is trying to move. He's trying to segue the fuck out of these topics when it comes to what happened. And he snapped at Joe. No, you took 2 weeks off. You're gonna fucking pod. He meant that shit. And another thing that was eye-opening to me, and I'm gonna end it on this note, but it's big. Joe was like, who the fuck sent Mel home? Who? Oh, it was Ian? And that's saying, who the fuck has the authority to send anybody home from my ship outside of me and Ian? And Parks was mum on the subject, And then he finally got the balls and was like, you know what, fuck this. I did. I told Mel to go home. Me and Ian. Everybody, we have a full set. If somebody would like to go home, you can go home. 2 things from that. A, Parks has ownership or equity in the JBN, and they're not trying to make it public, but why the fuck is Parks making decisions of that note? I'm with Joe on that, but on the second nature, why are you stepping on my shit if I am a part of this JBN like you always acknowledge me to be? It wasn't a bad decision at all. Why are you acknowledging this? You've been calling me out for missing edits. You've been calling me out for letting things slip of the tongue, which is why I know Parks knows what the fuck actually happened, because they don't have to record Pod Wives at the studio location. So please don't let all of this shit tie in. But Parks is pissed at Joe, and I'm going to pay attention to it, especially tomorrow, but these next 2 episodes in general, because they record the Patreon on the same day. So Saturday and Monday are the 2 episodes I'm going to be paying attention to the dynamic between Parks and Joe. But I don't know, man. The energy is just off. Ish is happy-go-lucky right now, and Joe is fuming for whatever reason, because Flip did well. He actually, in my eyes, elevated himself, even though most of y'all disagree with me on that, and that's cool. But Flip, in my eyes, elevated. Mel is finally talking again, which is all we've ever asked from her. We always bring up her first Patreon, and I'm starting to get those vibes from Mel again. Ish is being Ish, and y'all know my bias towards Ish, and he's happy, so you don't want to see that Ish in the open court. Mark Lamont Hill was a great addition, and Parks is already vibing with the cast. So why would you come back and, I don't know, man. Something is wrong. And then if we're supposed to be feeling bad for you because something personal happened in your life, and then you're telling us don't fucking check on you, I'm not telling you shit, you dub us, how are we supposed to feel? How are we supposed to even react around you? This work relationships, people tell me all the time how it doesn't matter. You just go there and get your bread. Well, I'm looking at a situation where you would seemingly think these people have one of the best jobs in the world. All they do is sit and talk. But notice the dynamic shift when their boss is there. It can't be that easy, especially when you're getting publicly chastised twice a week. I don't know, man. So, in that sense, let's all pay attention to what's going on tomorrow, because this shit, niggas ain't playing. And on a side note, I'm not going to get too much into detail. There's a reason why your boy's posting so late. But make sure you check on your loved ones, hug them, tell them you love them, and just keep in contact with people, man. You never know what somebody's going through. You don't want to be placed in a position where you're having to make decisions that you just aren't prepared for. So, oh man, y'all stay safe out there. Peace.